News Radio 840 WHAS coming up on today's Louisville Real Estate Show. Could your dog be the cause of those flies in your home and your backyard? Also, what should you never put in your dishwasher? And a homeowner's nightmare. Who is liable if a trick-or-treater gets hurt on your property? Hi, everybody. Bob Sokoler, the owner of the Sokoler team, Remax Properties East. Thank you for joining us on our Louisville Real Estate Show. And joining us, some great folks. We've got Chuck Crosby. He is the owner of the Crosby Law Office. Does a great job of getting your loan closed. You can not only get your loan closed, but Chuck can help you with wills, powers of attorney, foreclosure defense, commissioner sale. He is a jack of all trades, but in this case, he is a master of many. So there's a little switch on that. You can reach Chuck, 499-6360. Also joining us, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service and Team Bug Out. Yeah, he's multi-talented as well, and he is the #1 Home Team Inspection Service now 9 years in a row. We're looking for number 10. I don't want to jinx it, but my gut feeling is he's on target. You can reach Brad, 844-411-TEAM. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I can come out. It's me. I would make the trip to you wherever you might be. Well, if you're in Kansas, I'm not going to be able to go there. But in the Louisville, Southern Indiana area, I'm licensed in both locations. And come out, we talk about the process, what your home is worth. We look at what the staging might be needed to get it sold, and then we go from there. You can, and it's no home too big, no home too small. Call me on my cell phone, 376-5483, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. and then fill out the form and hit submit. I'll get it and get back to you. And then, of course, if you're looking for a free computer estimate of what the home is worth right now, you can go to WeSellLouisville.com. Look at the top of the website, and you'll be able to fill out that information. All right. You'll be able to hear a lot of info coming at you in the next couple of minutes. You can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com at any time if you want to see a rebroadcast of this show. We're going to start with Chuck Crosby over at the Crosby Law Office. 89-year-old Thomas owns property in Oldham County and knows his property lines. Chuck, this is fascinating. At least he thought, he says in this email, that he knew the property lines. Thomas says he noticed his neighbor had stored a car on the corner of his lot. And when Thomas saw the neighbor and asked him, I don't think he brought over a cake or anything, he just asked him, what's the car doing on there? And the neighbor says, it's been there for more than 10 years. And he says, now I don't have to remove it. So is that true, Chuck?
No.
Or Thomas? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Not exactly. First off, just because you store something there doesn't mean you own the land. If he's suggesting that it's adverse possession, everybody's got a weird view of that.
Yeah.
It's open, continuous, exclusive, adverse, and notorious possession for the statute of limitations, a period of which in Kentucky is 15 years. So even if he was doing everything, then, he's still got 5 years to go. The big thing is just because your car's there, if I don't know that you're on my land, well, it's not really notorious now, is it? You basically, just the general rule of thumb is you put up a fence and you put cows on it. For 15 years. And then, you've got a good argument. If you've got a car stored and you've got a couple wheels onto my property, it doesn't give you my property. And why is he just now bothered if the car's been there for 10 years?
You may not have seen it. The guy is a little on the older side, and maybe 89, he may not have been looking at outside the backyard.
10 years? I mean, that's...
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult, but the idea is no, that doesn't give you ownership of the land just because you have stuff stored on it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that hopefully, Thomas, that helps you a lot.
And if you want to get rid of it, call an attorney and or the local towing department.
Yes. And we'll give you Chuck's number in just a few minutes. We move over to Brad Lawler, Home Team Inspection Service. Cy sent us an email, and it might be of interest to anyone who owns a dog as a pet. Apparently, Cy's had several dogs, and they all go to the bathroom in the backyard. And he's noticed that there are flies constantly in the house, and he's thinking the flies are attracted to the waste material in the backyard, even though it's cleaned up several times a week. And that's possible. That could be the cause of why he's just irritated with the flies. So put your home team aside and put your
my pest control hat on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's going on there, and how does he work with it?
So flies are going to be attracted to waste matter in the yard with potentially within seconds after it's left. And eggs will be deposited, the larva comes out. We refer to those larvas as maggots. And even though it's cleaned up, they're still, getting into the ground. The larva's still there. The current weather conditions that we have right now, a little bit of wet. The ground's not cold enough to, freeze anything out yet or chill anything off. The flies are hatching and they're getting loose. And certainly, we've now started opening windows and doors as fall weather approaches, and they're coming into our house. So yeah, I think animals are certainly a big part of that. But they can also congregate, in any sort of areas where you have trash and other debris. Yard waste can bring them in. Wet recycling, anywhere where there's any sort of past food products, that's going to bring in flies and their larvae.
So, is there any other cure for this? No.
Cures, yeah. I would just say pick it up as fast as you can. That's the biggest thing. There's a lot of different type of fly lights and things that you can get to put in your house that the flies are attracted to late at night. They stick to little sticky boards. You can get rid of them that way, or just call a pest control company. I mean, there are ways to treat your home to keep some of those things out, and they may identify that it's not just the obvious sources like animal waste in the yard, but it may be something that is what was the word Chuck just talked about? Notorious. Maybe notorious out there that that you're not even looking for.
So I'm a sucker for gadgets, and as my wife LaDonna will tell you, if I see some gadget, I'm going for it if I think it's going to work. So I've got 2 German Shepherds, and LaDonna and I see these flies every once in a while. They're around the house, or outside or inside. So I bought this thing. I don't know if it was on. I don't know where I saw an ad for it, but Zevo Fly Insect Track. And I can't. I'm not. This is not a commercial. I don't own stock. I don't. Zevo. Yep. It's got this cool little light behind it, and then it's got some sticky thing in there. I've only had it about a week, so I haven't checked.
They should work pretty well. That's just a very small version of what we put into commercial applications. Every restaurant probably in this city has some sort of a fly light in it that will attract the flies after hours.
Do they attract gnats?
Yeah, anything, they'll all be attracted to the light in it. So yes, they will work for gnats as well.
Chuck, you have a gnat problem?
Everywhere. It seems everybody I know is talking about lots of gnats.
Yeah.
I had some at the office. I had some at the house. It seemed like they came in a wave and then they're gone.
A lot of times, Chuck, you'll get some like a piece of fruit that gets left too long.
That was my first thought, and I made sure that all went away.
Right, but what's happened is you've left some of the material from what was there, meaning the eggs, the larvae from those gnats. They may get into your drains. There's a lot of different places that they're going to go hide out. All they need is just that starting point. But yeah, those little fly lights with the sticky boards, they may be okay if you've got a limited type of problem.
I had a 3-pronged approach. The first one was to remove the offending stuff.
Yep.
Right.
Still didn't work. Then I cleaned with Clorox, and every surface got cleaned. And had that not worked, I was going to pour kerosene and light a match.
No.
So before you do that, I will tell you there are some natural traps out there that you can buy. Pest control companies sell them too, but they're little traps. You open them up and you add a little bit of water to them, and basically it kind of takes the place of that. Where a lot of people are putting out like apple cider vinegar on their counter.
Yeah,
these little traps actually work very well because it draws the gnats inside of them, and it's all natural. They're not using any chemicals. They're literally a trap, but they are attracted to that smell. And they work, they work pretty well.
All right. So I will tell you, I have a genius for a wife, and I'm not blowing smoke. And we were having ants on the front porch where you walk up to the house. She saw them. She goes, "We need some bleach." So she goes in, gets some bleach, and she pours it on the stoop of the front. We haven't seen an ant. So what is the bleach killing them, or is it just deterring
the only
them?
the only thing you're doing there with bleach is just you're wiping out the pheromone trail that was there. So the ants have just moved somewhere else. It's not killing them off. It's just they're just now somewhere else.
All right,
out there. But it takes care of the trail. That's why Chuck's cleanup there. If it had been for ants, then they would have disappeared from those kitchen counters too.
All right, a reminder for you, if you're thinking of selling your home, we have a free no obligation book. It has hundreds of useful tips. If you want a copy, it's free. Just send an email, bob@wesellouisville.com. Put selling tips in the subject line. I'll send that right out to you. And also, if you're thinking, well, what does a home inspection involve? Brad and Home Team Inspection Service also has a report which says, what do you expect during an inspection? Send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put the word inspection in the subject line, and I'll send that back out to you. Back over to Chuck Crosby and the Crosby Law Office. Terry has a real problem for us in this email. He says can he sue the title company for giving him a deed when he paid cash for a house and found out a year later there's actually a lien on the house? Chuck?
Well, that's why you get title insurance,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because if you go to Jim Bob's House of Closings and you get a rotten deal and they didn't run a title or they did it incorrectly, well, that becomes a title claim. Okay, then you file the claim with the title insurance company and they take care of it. You never know if the closing entity is going to be around. You don't know what kind of insurance they carry. Now, the banks are the ones that have severe liability in these situations, right? You're going to give you a loan to buy a house. They make sure that anybody that they deal with has the availability of an insured closing protection letter. That means that there's a major title company or title insurance entity that says, we'll stand behind this guy. He has E&O of X, etc. So it's kind of like you've been examined, audited repeatedly, and found to be good. And then the banks will take that. So I would deal with outfits that also do loans for the larger banks. You get somebody who just doesn't know what they're doing, well, that can happen. But title insurance is the answer to that question.
Cost of owner's title insurance at closings typically
It's going to be the
runs
same no matter where you go. So
Yeah,
it
what will
really
it be?
doesn't
Yeah.
matter whoever, but it's based on the purchase price.
And
And on my website, there's you can calculate it, or give me a call and I'll pull out the handy dandy book and give you a quote.
and that website address is?
Well, just Google Crosby
Chuck
Law
Crosby.
Offices,
There you go.
Louisville.
A reminder, you can actually see what the people are writing about us. Go to LouisvilleZillow.com or LouisvilleGoogle.com. We're proud of our reviews. We're going to take a break. When we come back, what not to put in your dishwasher, folks. Continuing with us will be Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices. They do a great job of closings, real estate closings, and wills, powers of attorney, and more. You can reach Chuck, 499-6360. Also continuing, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service and Team Bug Out. You can reach Brad at 844-411-TEAM. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the near future, I would love to help you, whether it's now or next year. Free, no obligation for me to come out to you. It's me, and we talk about what the process is and what the sale price of the home should be and maybe some staging suggestions. No home too big, no home too small. 376-5483 is my direct cell phone number, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. And for a free computer analyzed amount of what your home is worth, go to wesellouisville.com. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show. We are here with you to the top of the hour. Thank you for sticking with us, folks, and thank you, Barbara Corcoran, who is a mentor and a friend, and we appreciate her advice always. Continuing with us, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Office. He is the head guy and does a great job at real estate closings, also wills, powers of attorney, commissioner's sale. You can reach Chuck, 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler owns Home Team Inspection Service and Team Bug Out, and you can reach them to get your home inspected or to get rid of pesky pets. Well, pests, really.
Yeah.
You can reach him at 844-411-TEAM. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, you can call me anytime, day or night, free, no obligation analysis, and I'll come out and we'll talk about the process. And quite frankly, it's easy. I'll be the one, and no home too big, no home too small. You can reach me at 376-5483 or go to bobsellslouisville.com. All right. We have another question. Samantha sent us an email about her dishwasher. No, it's not about how to stack it. She is wondering if it's safe to put her family casserole dish in the dishwasher. Now, this is a great subject because Brad knows a lot about dishwashers. Chuck does a lot of cooking. So we'll weigh in as we go through a list here of what not to put in your dishwasher. You might be surprised, folks. I was. So casserole dish, either of you two gents want to comment on that?
Do we have any other specifics on that casserole dish?
It's a family heirloom.
A family heirloom casserole dish. I have several casserole dishes
Yeah.
that were handmade, artisan, whatever. Virgins in the Moonlight made it. The more delicate it is, the temperatures in the water cooling off and heating up can cause all these hairline cracks. I don't know if it goes a crack into the actual casserole dish or if it's a crack in the finish, but it looks like it's a crack throughout the dish. Bunch of hairline.
Yeah, so is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
do it.
Yeah. The suggestion from the article that I pulled this from is put on the gloves and then wash it yourself.
Yeah, just wash it yourself.
Yep, we've talked about this part. Dishwashing liquid bread. We don't put dishwashing liquid in because
no, not the liquid. You're just going to create a giant foam bubble, and you will have the sudsiest leaking dishwasher imaginable.
Yeah. Next, take out containers. Are you? Yeah. The people, I want to save them.
Well, of course, I immediately go to styrofoam, but the plastic ones,
plastic.
You might, the lids might get warped, but
I find that you can do it once, and then the heat from the water will make things not quite the same.
They don't
lids
fit.
will contract and expand at a different rate than the bottoms.
That's exactly it. And they will melt or disintegrate. And there might be some sort of something chemical that's being released as well, which would worry me. Copper pans. If you bought those copper pans, put them in the dishwasher. Brad's shaking his head.
No.
Yeah.
No copper. No. Barkeeper's friend to keep them shiny and bright.
Good. All right. Good suggestion. Wooden utensils, cutting boards. Don't put the wood in the dishwasher.
No.
Yeah.
No wood.
And you really shouldn't be having a wood cutting board anyhow. Elaborate,
because
if you will, Brad, because of all the nicks and the bacteria that get into them.
Yes.
You need a non-permeable surface.
Non-permeable nylon is those are great ones because a nylon cutting board you can put directly into the dishwasher to clean it and sterilize it, and it's very knife safe versus some of the other materials like you see people using like a ceramic cutting board or cutting directly on your granite countertop. Don't do that to your knives.
Remember those wood countertops where
butcher
they look like cutting boards? Yeah. So that was actually bad because you could create a bacteria haven there.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, now, and the people that do these bamboo boards, they claim that they're better, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about that one.
Yeah, crystal glass and dishware. I know just from my wife, LaDonna, says she's got some great china. Never put that in the dishwasher.
Too fragile. Yeah, china with any sort of a metal decoration on it, you definitely do not want to put that in.
No. All right, this was a shocker. Cheese grater. Why don't we put cheese graters in the dishwasher?
It's the same thing as a knife. It's just shaped differently.
Oh, so it will dull the cutting?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, I will admit that I have put cheese graters through the dishwasher, but I would not put like a microplane type of cheese grater through the dishwasher. But the box kind that stand up on your counter that the knuckle busters. Yeah. Those I don't think are going to be a problem. They may be talking about the more things, the fancier ones like the microplanes. Those I would hand wash.
The whole point is, at least in my mind, is that I can buy another one for $5. Mm-hmm.
So stick it in the dishwasher.
So what do I care?
Yeah,
$5.
Right.
Well, all right. So fancy chef quality knives, don't put them in the dishwasher as well.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it will dull them, and the handle can warp or be.
It does terrible things to both the metal and the handle material. Yeah.
All right, this next one, I'm guilty of doing this. I'm not going to do this anymore. So I'm just telling you up front. My pet's bowl or cedar bowl, don't put it in the dishwasher. Okay, do you guys do that to clean your bowl?
Yeah, I do, Bob.
You do?
I do. Alone. But I don't know. I mean, if they're steel, if they're metal, then I think those are easy.
Yeah.
But I think that if you talk some of those earthenware kind of pet dishes, those are probably wouldn't. I wouldn't put any stoneware or any earthenware into a dishwasher. That may be what they're thinking. Thinking of there. I don't know.
My thought is, I use these metal bowls for Victoria. Right. I hand wash them. Not because I think it's safer, but because I don't want her to be disappointed with me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, We're learning a
Oh.
lot about Chuck Crosby. By the way, the urban legend we've probably all heard about is a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's, and that's not totally true. Think about where your dog or cat's mouth has been.
Mhm.
And so they're saying you don't want to put that in the dishwasher, which I will never do again. So.
Okay, I was going to say that could go in so many directions.
Yeah.
at
No,
this
I'm not
point.
going there. Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind you got a lot of sterilization going on inside that dishwasher at those
Yeah.
temperatures. So
True.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
depending
that's
on
what
the system and the cycle. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, the sterilization part of it.
Right.
But okay, insulated drinkware as we wrap this up, and mugs. And I did this, and I've done this, and yes, no, huh?
So some insulated systems like a Tervis tumbler,
Yeah.
they say dishwasher safe, but anything that's just look in the bottom. If it says hand wash only, that's one time I would follow those instructions on the insulated drinkware.
Okay, well then I got it. But I mean, I've done it, and I haven't seen a problem with it. And then the final thing is pots and pans don't put in, but I've done that, and then maybe it takes some of the Teflon coating off. But so then you buy another, it's just easier.
there's a reaction that happens, and it happens rarely. On I like all clad. Okay,
Yes.
I mean the good all clad, not the. I like all clad. I had a pot that lasted probably 24 years, and I would wash it in the dishwasher. But of that whole batch of pots, one of them started taking it. It did some reaction with it, and the metal on the outside started doing some funky thing, and you couldn't clean it off. It just somehow chemically reacted. So it doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen.
Got it. A reminder, you can see a rebroadcast of today's show. Go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's a redirect to our YouTube channel. It's up there, video and audio. And another reminder, if you want to see what sellers are saying about us at closing tables after we've closed, help them close on their house, you can go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com or LouisvilleBuyersTalk.com. Either of those two. We go back over to Chuck Crosby in the Crosby Law Office. Mark and his wife bought a home last month in Jefferson County. He writes in this email that after moving in, they found significant issues with the home. None were mentioned on the disclosure, and he's saying in this email, no, we did not have a home inspection. He obviously listens. He's wondering, is he just out of luck? Can he take any action, Chuck?
No, if there's misrepresentations going on, okay, here's the thing that says, hey, have you ever had a leaky basement? And you clearly have had a leaky basement, and you say no. That's going to carry through. That gives you all manner of toeholds to do something about it. So the key to all this is you're saying it's not disclosed or it was misrepresented on the disclosure. That leaves all sorts of doors wide open.
All right. Final question here, Chuck. This is going to actually Brad Luller, but you may want to chime in on this, Chuck. Leo, first-time homeowner, he's wondering in this email, what should he do as we head into fall and into the winter to extend the life efficiency of his heating and air and his dishwasher and his other appliances? Is there anything that homeowners should be doing? Brad?
So this is the perfect time of year to get that furnace serviced before we get into the cold weather months. Have the HVAC technician come out and clean out the blower motor. Make sure that your outdoor unit is, particularly if you have a heat pump, that it's clean and ready to go for a winter season. The filters are changed out. This is also a good time of year to make sure that your gutters are cleaned out. This is as the leaves start dropping, you want to clean those gutters out. You don't want to leave them in the winter because you will get ice dams and cause water leakage to come back into the house. As far as appliances go, I think the biggest thing you can do is maybe just check your dryer going into this season. Make sure that vent pipe is clean, and that outer flapping door actually seals up tight, that it doesn't have a bunch of lint holding it open, because that's going to be a pathway for critters to come in to that vent trying to get into your home, and it just cuts. You just are trying to keep those cold breezes from blowing in. It's a good time now to take a look for any sort of caulk around windows or doors, any of those areas that have pulled away. Just go ahead and seal those cracks up with a good quality caulk. Doesn't take very long, and you will definitely be more comfortable and energy efficient going into the cold weather months.
All right. Finally, as we wrap up, now we're wrapping up, but this is a homeowner's nightmare. with Trick or Treat around the corner. Chuck, anything you can suggest to help anyone who has trick-or-treaters and maybe they fall and could maybe take out a lawsuit against the owner.
The whole thing to remember is trick or treating or not, you have a certain liability, or you have a certain responsibility to, not be negligent. And you've got kids coming through. Them walking on your lawn to trick or treat isn't any kind of waiver of liability or anything. So if you've got a wet walkway with leaves all over it, go clean it off. You can be held liable for negligence, whether it's trick or treat or not.
Next week, folks, we're going to talk about the steps to take to keep your property safe for those little trick-or-treaters coming around your door. We've got a list that I think will be really important. That's next week. Our thanks to our participants, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service and Team Bugout. You can reach Brad for a home inspection or to have little pests taken care of. I'm talking about bugs and all. 844-411-TEAM is his direct number. Also, Chuck Crosby, he's the owner of the Crosby Law Offices. They do real estate closings, and they do a good job at that. But he also does wills, powers of attorney, foreclosure defense, and the like. You can reach Chuck anytime at 499-6360. And if you're thinking of selling your home now or in the future, I would love to be able to help you and talk to you about it. And we also have buyer agents if you're thinking of buying a home. You can reach me on my cell phone. There's no home too big, no home too small. It's a free, no obligation for me to come out and talk to you about the process, and I'll spend as much time as you need. I love doing what I do. You can reach me on my cell phone, 376-5483, or go to bobsellslouisville.com. We are out of time. See you next Sunday on News Radio 840 WHAS.